steps in the last decade or so.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, bursting in air, it gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner
stay on the top of the curve. Pat had the baseball intelligence, and he certainly had the experience, and over years his instincts became as sharp and as reliable and as productive and as consistent and successful as anybody's in the game. His dad played minor league baseball. He grew up with baseball as a big part of his life. I don't know when it was that he decided that he wasn't going to be a pitcher in the major leagues and he better focus on becoming a baseball administrator, but when he did that, he was well prepared for it. He was at the top of his game almost from the first day he sat at a desk as a baseball administrator. Smart man, a good forward thinker, see beyond the horizon. I don't think there was anything that caught him by surprise. I mean, he made the big deals when he had to and signed the players when he needed to. But underneath of that, under the surface of those big dynamic deals that had the spotlights and all that on them, was the constant and deep and effective and very creative management of the organization. Like, for instance, the Rule 5 drafts. He was the guy who really sort of set the standard for taking unprotected minor leaguers off of rosters of organizations and having them turn into major league players. Pat and his guys selected a young Manny Lee off the roster of the Houston Astros, and Manny was on the Class A team at the time. So he now is drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays. He's on their major league roster. Fast forward to the upcoming spring training. Manny Lee goes to Houston and plays against the Astros that day. Goes 4 for 4, hits 2 triples, and the Houston brass and ownership go berserk. How did this guy get away from us?
Great. What a waste of time.
What distinguishes a man like Pat and has him in the place where he is today, being honored in the fashion he so rightly deserves, is the sustainability and consistency of excellent work.
The Seattle Mariners win number 116.
In Toronto, back-to-back world championships.
The Mariners and still world champions, the Toronto Blue Jays.
It's great to be here for such a time.
In Baltimore, they got the job done there.
The Orioles have won the divisional series against the Cleveland Indians.
And in Philly, of course, that organization was looking for someone to be that leader and carry that organization to the next highest level, and he did that.
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball!
He was prepared intellectually. He was committed to being the best at what he did. He made good judgments. He surrounded himself with good people. He, as a result, built good teams, if not great teams, and did it consistently, did it with character, did it with integrity, did it with honor. He did his job well, and he did it right.
Billy Smith, it was terrific. April in Toronto, playing in an exhibition stadium on the shore of Lake Ontario, I can assure you was not a walk in the park. But it was baseball. It was exciting and new and a family affair. 9 years later, thanks to Bobby Cox, the Blue Jay organization, and the players, we won our first division title. And in 1992, we became the first team outside the United States to win a World Series and repeat in '93. I will never forget those nights. I was happy for our entire organization, but most of all, I was happy for Paul Molitor, who played so brilliantly for so many years, but never won a title until he came to the Blue Jays in '93. If you recall, Paul was the MVP of the 1993 World Series, batting .500. When I retired from the Jays, my wife and daughter said I wouldn't last long without baseball. And they were right as usual. I worked for the Orioles and the Mariners, and I want to thank so many of my Mariner friends for making the trip from Seattle. Randy and Tim and Kevin and Jim and Bart, and the ones who kept me going. Debbie, Hallie, Jan, and also great support from Roger, Benny, Lee, and Hide. And then I ended up with the Phillies, which has been an incredible capstone to my career. Philadelphia loves its teams, and being able to win a World Series for the city, fans, players, and our Philly organization meant so much to our family. Just like Paul Molitor in '93, I'll never forget the look on Jamie Moyer's face when Phillies won the World Series in 2008. 22 years in the majors, and finally he had his ring. Our thanks go to the Bucks, Middletons, and Bettses for their support. And I know somewhere up there that Whip and Jimmy are rooting for the Phillies. David Montgomery is a boss everyone should have the pleasure to work for in their lives. I owe a world of gratitude to Bill Giles, Ruben Amaro, Marty Wolliver, Frank Kopenbarger, Dallas, Vuk, Adele, Novo, and the entire baseball operations staff. I know that I would not be standing here today without the tremendous support from every part of all the organizations I work for. But my particular thanks go to the scouts and player development staff. They find the players and prepare them for Major League Baseball. The hard work, dedication, and advice from the scouts and player development staffs are what builds champions. Mr. Zingle, Morgan, Lakey, Welke, Guerrero, Norton, and Kerfeld, you and your wives have become very close friends, and our family thanks you. Scouting has changed. Communication has gotten better and faster. Traveling has gotten worse. Blackberries, computers, texting are all part of the front office now, but they can't take the place of the wonderful stories of the old-timers that I had a chance to hear time and time again, and then a second time, and a third time, and a fourth time. There are so many great memories, so many great stories. As a young scout, I remember hiding up in trees with binoculars so no other scouts would know I was interested in a prospect. I remember the assumed names and the clever tactics we all used to get an edge or throw others off the scent. I remember looking for players in the Caribbean in the early 60s when there were only a few of us down there, and we helped each other out even as we competed for the likes of Connie Moreno or Juan Marichal. I didn't find the next Rico Cardi or Roberto Clemente, but I did find something better. I actually found my wife, Doris. At a hotel in Santo Domingo on a scouting trip in 1968. She was flying for Pan Am, and we've been together ever since. No matter how much technology changes scouting, no matter how much free agency and big TV contracts change the business of baseball, I hope and pray that the heart of the game will never change. Baseball is about talent and hard work and strategy, but at the deepest level, it's about love, integrity, and respect. Respect for the game, respect for your colleagues, respect for the shared bond that is bigger than any one of us. Let me just tell you a quick story of something that happened in 1975 when I was scouting for the Yankees. I was trying to land a strapping first baseman from a tiny town about an hour north of San Antonio, Blanco, Texas, population 200. His name was Willie Upshaw. Turned out there was only 3 scouts that knew about Willie. Dave Yoakum and I working for the Yankees, and a scout from the Atlanta Braves by the name of Al Lamacchia. Well, Al and I played every trick we had, and in the end, luck was on my side, and the Yankees got Willie in the draft. But Willie wasn't sure whether he wanted to play baseball or football. We knew from his size that he wasn't going to be a professional football player, so we really believed that baseball was the right thing for him and his family. Dave spent 3 days trying to sign Willie with the Yankees without any luck. We found out later, actually, that Willie was hiding from Dave. So I called Al Lamacchia at the Braves and asked him if he would go with me to Blanco, Texas, to help convince Willie's family that baseball was the right decision for Willie. Remember, Al and I had been fighting tooth and nail over Willie in the draft, but he said he'd be happy to help. We sat in the living room, 2 scouts from rival teams, and talked with Willie and his dad about the pros and cons, and Willie ended up having a great career in baseball. He had 123 home runs in the big leagues, played a couple more years in Japan, and now he's the manager of the Bridgeport Bluefish. But can you really imagine that happening today? A rival scout taking time out of his schedule to go to the middle of nowhere to help a competitor and help a young man make the right decision for his future? That's just how we all operated back then. We fought like heck for every player and every advantage, but we knew we were part of something bigger than ourselves. To me, that is what baseball is all about. And I hope it is always what baseball is all about. And there's a nice side to the story. In 1976, when I went to Toronto, we needed 2 special assistants for the GM. I called Al at the Braves and offered him the job, and he was one of our vice presidents during the World Series of 92-93. I know Al and Bob Maddock and Mel Queen from the Toronto days are here in spirit. If you listen real closely, you can hear them discussing, debating, or even arguing which comes first, confidence or success. I have been lucky in my life, though my biggest success was not all in baseball. Doris and I have been married almost 43 years. She has been the wind beneath my wings, the one happy to be in the background, the one handling every disaster, big or little, on her own, so I could do my thing. Our daughter, Kim, is our pride and joy. Her husband, David, seated over here, he probably knows more about baseball than I do. And I thank them for our grandson, Cooper. We want to thank our friends that have come from all over the United States, Canada, and Latin America to honor me with their presence on this day. I am deeply, deeply grateful. We also want to thank Jane Clark, the Hall of Fame staff, members of the committee who voted for me, Major League Baseball, and all baseball fans everywhere from the bottom of my heart. I was lucky to go to work every day for 50 years to a job that I loved, a job I still can't believe they paid me to do. And I'm humbled to be standing here today when the game has already given me back so much more than I ever imagined possible. As the wonderful voice of the Seattle Mariners said here in Cooperstown, I might not be the most deserving, but I am certainly the most appreciative. Thank you very much.